Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nerd Den here once again, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the future of Doctor Who once again, and there's been some more interesting speculation online which I want to cover on the channel because yeah, it's always fun to talk about that because there's been a few news outlets that have been publishing their own speculative pieces in terms of what they think the show's going to be, and spoiler alert, they're not bleak. Well, they are bleak, sorry, and they're not that good, like, in terms of what they're speculating about. So we're going to have a look. We're going to see what these outlets are saying. We're going to dive into it and, yeah, have a look at what these outlets are saying. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Let's talk about Doctor Who, you know, that show we all love. I mean, I'm wearing my Doctor Who shirt today. So, yeah, without all that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so we are going to, first of all, go here, because Doctor Who Production News is a really good page on X, and they posted Doctor Who Season 3 and Beyond, the storm clouds that appear to be gathering. And this led to a very interesting article from Film Stories. And Simon Brew is meant to be a well-known journalist. I mean, I'm not really into like the whole journalism game, so I don't really know, you know, like the big names and that sort of thing, but apparently Simon's like a big name when it comes to film and TV journalism. Doctor Who Series 3 and Beyond, a few thoughts on the storm clouds that appear to be gathering. So, Doctor Who rumours are swirling again with suggestions that the future of the show is looking grim. A few thoughts on it all. So, yeah, Doctor Who has been going through, going through a lot in terms of the rumour mill. So yeah, there's a lot of tabloid speculation, the rumours of an impending cancellation. There's a lot of talk about ratings and that the show isn't what it once was. So yeah, it's kind of a familiar rhetoric when it comes to Doctor Who. But in the past month, a report from The Sun did say that Ncuti wants to go to Hollywood. Disney Plus is unhappy with the American ratings for the show, and that a long hiatus for Doctor Who is ahead of us. So, the circumstantial evidence is building too, because Russell T Davies has committed to a brand new drama for Channel 4, which we already know. So why would he be doing that if there's more Doctor Who on the way? And furthermore, it's been widely reported earlier this year that Bad Wolf Studios' facility in Wales is advertising its space that many assumed would have been taken up by Ncuti Gatwa's third season as the Time Lord. Very interesting. So, factually, we all know that Doctor Who Season 3, as we're still uncomfortable calling it, has not yet been commissioned. A statement from the BBC to the Radio Times has reiterated, as we've previously stated, the decision on Season 3 will be made after Season 2 airs, and that is the deal with Disney Plus, which was for 26 episodes, and exactly half of those have still yet to transmit. As the rest, we never comment on Doctor Who and its future storylines. So 26 episodes are shot too, if we include the spin-off series The War Between Land and Sea, which is meant to arrive later this year. Plus, we don't know when Doctor Who will return. We do know when Doctor Who will return, on Saturday the 12th of April. So, boom, we know all that. So, we know that when the first episode of the renewed series landed last year, virtually all of Series 2 had already been filmed. Not a single frame of Series 3 is in the can, even though showrunner Russell T Davies suggested that he had stories and plans in place. So, very interesting. There's a lot of, obviously, like I mentioned here, about clickbait information, that sort of thing, that Disney Plus has cancelled the show and Russell T Davies is leaving. None of this has come from a tangible source, but in a vacuum of information, it is spreading. And plus, Russell has very recently said about passing the torch on to someone else, which has certainly poured some flames onto things. Because, it's not a response to the rumours that have spread. It's just that Russell is saying that conversations have taken place. So, very interesting. So, yeah, there's a lot that seems to be going ahead that suggests Doctor Who, or at least this version of Doctor Who, will not be lasting for much longer. So, yeah, a lot of this is more like opinion pieces, that sort of thing. But, yeah, pretty much, worst case scenario, the show goes off air for several years, which could happen. It's happened before, and it will happen again. Doctor Who will never have Star Wars numbers, which, yeah, we do know that. But, yeah, I personally think that this era of Doctor Who might be coming to its close. And then this leads me to this article here from Inverse. Doctor Who's new era could end sooner than we thought. So, as Doctor Who prepares to return for a new season on 12th of April, fans are already wondering what's in store for both the incumbent Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, but also reigning showrunner Russell T Davies. And then, surprise, surprise, they're bringing up about the podcast interview where he says he won't be back for a third time. So, he said there's been thinking about that in terms of his successor, and he says there's conversations about that, but it's a hard one, it's a tricky one. So, wow. So yeah, it's kind of catching up on what we know so far, but I feel like these articles do summarise a lot about what's going on, because yeah, they are obviously like opinion pieces, kind of like a roundup of information, but it does kind of highlight that Doctor Who kind of isn't in a good place right now in terms of the public eye. Because yeah, 2024's Who season, I mean, I personally enjoyed a fair bit of it, but for the general public, it was certainly a mixed bag. So it wasn't the big shake-up that I think the BBC and Disney and Russell wanted. But whilst, yeah, I think 73 Yards that was mentioned here is an instant classic, it's hard to say if this new era of Russell T Davies will be regarded as well as the first. So we've also got the upcoming Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between Land and the Sea, as well, which is very exciting. But yeah, all the episodes that are part of that original deal have been filmed, and all signs, especially with what Russell is saying, he's not squashing the rumours. All the signs from the BBC and what Russell is saying is that I think this iteration of the show, perhaps even this era with Russell T Davies, might be ending after the next block of seasons, or if we do get a season 3, that'll be like the swan song, I think. So yeah, it was a very interesting little read there. I'm personally still on the fence of if Doctor Who is really going to get cancelled. I actually don't think it will, but I think I'm more on the side of that. I think Doctor Who will end up taking a break, or perhaps this era of the show will kind of come to its head after a gap year. I think like a third season will kind of end things, and I feel like the show does kind of need new blood anyway, and it'll be interesting to see what direction the show takes after this. But I'm certainly on board with whatever the show's got coming up next. I am looking forward to the new season regardless. I'm hoping that, Russell and the team and obviously Ncuti can all do something amazing. As I said, I did enjoy a fair bit the first season. Obviously, it did end on a little bit of a sour note. And obviously, the behind-the-scenes rumours are really, really not looking good at all. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But with all that being said, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you are new around here, please click that like button and subscribe for more nerdy content. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for all the support. Take care. Love you all. And peace.